Me? Uh,
How are you doing? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Teacher Danilo, and in here with me we have Isabela Bueno.
Hi.
Guys, before we talk a little bit about our class today, I'm gonna ask Isa to introduce yourself. Please, Isa, who are you? Let's
Hi.
go in some words.
My name is Isabella. I'm 17. I'm in the last year of the high school. Um, let me think. Let me think. I had classes with teacher Danilo when I was younger, and I really liked the classes. But to be honest, it was because of him. I really like him, and it was so nice. And I think learning a new language is very important for your your future, for your job, and for yourself, because you're going to learn about other cultures. So I think it's really important. And I want to learn Spanish with teacher Danilo in the future. And I want to learn French too, because I think it's really interesting. But I think it's really
Really?
cool, so I don't know.
Okay. Isa, another question. What are your dreams? What do you want for you? Do you have any idea what you want for your future dreams? Tell us a
Uh,
little bit about
my
this, please.
future dreams, I think I want to be a doctor, of course. To be honest, my dream is to study in Einstein University. I think I can do it. So, but I don't know. And maybe in the future, I can. I can. I can. Um, I want to live in New York with my best friend Edith. I know you're watching this, so
Yeah.
to go.
It is this girl that is saying the most beautiful girl Isa. Okay, this is very nice. That's what the best friends are for, right?
Yes, we want to live in New York together. And if we don't become a doctor, we want to have our, I don't know, restaurant in New York. I don't know. We just want to live together in New York. So let's
Yeah,
see what
that's
the future has for me.
that's great, Isa. And I believe that English you understand, even though you are young. Guys, she was saying some seconds ago that she's in high school, 30 years, very young, but you already understand that English is very important for your future. It can
Yeah.
open doors for you, right? Do you see this way clearly now? Is how do you see this
I
before we start our class?
agree with this. I think it's really important. Like in the last decade, it was really important to have English in our skills and things like that. But nowadays, I think it's like an obligation. You need to learn English because it's really important for your future and everything.
All right. Thank you very much, Isa. Thank you for that. Yeah, you see, there's probably family, some good friends in here watching you. This is great. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. All right, Isa, let's start talking a little bit about our topic of the day. Okay. Um, Even though you were young, I believe you have a good idea on topics, or you've heard topics related to leaders, to leadership. Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit today on how leaders in general can motivate more people. I believe you understand is that motivation is a little bit personal, but we can learn how to motivate a little bit more. And this is what we're gonna do in here today. So I'm gonna explain, Isa, and everyone, how our class is gonna be conducted. Okay, I am a facilitator. My idea is to try my best to make things easy for Isabella and for you guys who are watching this live. Okay, so I really believe that a teacher is best as a facilitator. So Isabella is the main participant, so she's gonna talk to me a lot and to you guys a lot, and of course the chat for contextualized questions and doubts. So whenever you have questions or anything, please just ask in the comments in the chat. Then I'll find the right moment to put in the live. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for that. So what are the topics for today? Isabella, can you read the topics there for me, please? The topics we're gonna see. Oops, I'm sorry. Isa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Would you please repeat?
Facts about motivation at work and life, a story of motivation by example, and lessons for student leaders.
Okay, Isa, do you have any questions in here? This is the general idea of the class. Okay, so let's go.
Okay.
Let's continue with this. So, all right. So, Isa, would you please read this part?
There's a huge gap between the perceptions of the leaders and their followers. Gap, open and empty space.
So there's a huge gap between the perceptions of the leaders and their followers. What do you think this is about? What comes to your mind? Whatever comes to your mind. When you read this, what do you think, Isa, please?
To be honest, I agree with this. I think it's really it's the truth. But to be honest, I don't know how to explain, but I agree with this because it's different. We cannot compare like leaders with followers, and like the characteristics, it's different. So I agree that has a huge gap between,
Okay, so let's see what is the idea behind this huge gap. We're gonna see through facts, through information, that when you are a leader, I sometimes believe that I can motivate you, that I know how to motivate you. But many times let's imagine that you work for me. Okay, so we work in the same company and I am your leader. There is a good chance that I think that I am a great leader. And there is a chance that you think, whoa, is Danilo really a good leader? So let's see this idea through information, okay?
Okay.
I put in here some statistics, but before, this is very important. In my first class, 2 weeks ago, first live, we talked about leadership and definition of leadership. Would you please just read this part to remind us what is leadership? Read, please, Isa.
Do you remember what is a leader? Despite different opinions, there's a consensus that a leader is someone who takes people where they would not have got by themselves.
So, do you have any questions in here in terms of English, Portuguese comprehension, Isa, first of all?
No.
Yeah? Okay, so this is a review of something which is very important. A leader is someone who takes people where they would not have got by themselves. So this is a general but very good explanation on leader. A person that takes people where alone they would not have got by themselves. Do you agree with this idea? You don't agree? What's on your mind about this, Isabella? Please.
I totally agree with this because a leader helps the others and help them to got everything that he wants or they want. So I think that's totally true. Yes.
All right, all right. Any questions? Anything in here, Isa?
No.
All right. If there's anything on your mind related to any question, any doubt, please ask. And you guys at home also, okay? If you have any questions related to vocabulary or anything you would like to ask Isabella, for example, depending on the question I can put, all right, in there, and to me too, okay? All right, guys. So let's keep on going. Now, as I've said before, some statistics, some information related to this gap of leadership and motivation. Isabella, please read these facts. Let's go.
Okay. Did you know that according to the book How to Lead by Joe Owen, 67 of leaders think they are good at motivation, but only 32 of their followers agree. According,
Okay.
sorry.
Second here is this is that part that I told you before. Yeah, this is this gap. Sometimes I believe I'm a good leader, but you don't see me necessarily as a good leader. Okay, so the idea is for us to try to close this information, this gap. Okay, continue, please.
According to Gallup, an American research company, 70% of employee engagement is because of the quality and example of their leader.
Quality and example of their leader. When you think about a good example of a leader, do you know anybody who's a good example of a leader in your mind? Very fast, you know?
My mom.
Your mom. All right. Tell me, why do you think she's a good example as a leader?
I think my mom know how to motivate people. I think she's really good in this. And like when her employees are sad or something like that, she talk with all day, Sometimes she brings them to restaurants for have a little trip. So I think she knows how to do with them. So I think it's really important, and I think she's good in this.
Yeah, okay. And this is a good example. So there's a good chance that you learn from her only seeing. Sometimes she doesn't speak, but you see she is an example, and then you learn. Isn't this right?
She really talks with her eyes, like she just look like. And I'm just thinking everything that she's thinking, and that's weird, but at the same time, it's really nice.
All right, Isa, thank you very much. Let's keep on going. Thank you for sharing this personal information with us. So, all right, we have these facts. So these facts are important for us to perceive, for us to see this huge, this enormous gap between the perceptions of the leaders and their followers related to motivation. So, in here, our next step, Isabella and everyone, is to think, is to compare the past, how we used to see authority and how it is nowadays. So, Isabella, I'll ask you to read this and then we'll comment a little bit in the past and nowadays. Would you please?
Okay. In the past, leaders had power and authority to enforce compliance. Nowadays, compliance is not enough. There is a need for real commitment. For example,
Okay, compliance. So we have a word in here, might be a new word for you guys, which is compliance and commitment. So what's the meaning of compliance, Isa, please?
on conformity to rules,
And commitment.
on engagement responsibility.
So listen, guys, this is very powerful. In the past, we used to see leaders leading because they were powerful, because they could put in their job, they could show that they are or they were powerful. Nowadays, not necessarily. Nowadays, things work in a different way. Nowadays, it is not enough this conformity to rules. Nowadays, you need real commitment through example, especially. All right. I believe, for example, if I think in here, Isabella, you were very young. Probably you've heard the word. Oh, you have to do this because I told you so. Because I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
it's me. Yeah. Oh, okay. This works for a time. But if whatever the person wants you to do, needs you to do, if they say, but also they are an example, they motivate through example, isn't it more powerful? What's more powerful? To say you have to do or to show the way, to motivate and be the example? Which is more powerful, you believe?
I think it's to show the way, but like with people with my age or older, because with kids, I think it's better for you just say, do this, you need to do this. But I think with teenagers and adults, I think that's the best option.
Yeah, because of rationality is a there's a good chance whenever you are when you get older. I mean, not old, older. You you want to know the reasons for things, right?
Yeah.
You want to know this, and this is powerful. Yeah. I've received in here the comment of Rafael Yuji. He's saying, I hear compliance all the time at work. Yeah. Because in companies, this word, the word compliance, is very used. Yeah. And it's also very powerful. All right. Thanks for your contribution. And Isa, before we continue here, there's a comment on your BFF. Precision is so good, Bella. But,
Yes. I love you.
Isabella, are you paying her to comment this on the live, huh?
No, but I think I'm going to need to pay after that because she's so cute.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Edis, for being with us. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, let's keep on going. Then a little bit more on our presentation. And then in here, we talk about a story. Now we're going to do some reading. We're going to work, and everyone, we're going to work on a text about a story about being an example.
Okay.
So, Isabella, we're going to do the following. This story has 3 slides, okay? We're going to do in parts. So don't forget that our focus is learning related to leadership and motivation. But of course, we have the focus on improving our English. So the first thing I'll ask you to do is to read these slides to me for general comprehension. Okay? So I'll guide you through that. Please start reading. Isa, let's go.
In a beautiful village in India lived a boy with his parents. He was addicted to eating sugar, and his mother warned him several times not to eat sugar, as it is not good for health. But the boy didn't listen to his mother. After some days, his mother decided to get help from Gandhi, the Greek leader of India, so she took his son to where he was. The journey was long, and she had to walk miles in hot weather conditions.
Okay, there's vocabulary that probably is new for us in here. Would you please read also?
Addicted, dependent on, warn, instruct, and journey, trip.
Okay, continuing. Please, Isabella.
She then finally reached it and She met Gandhi. She then asked him to tell her son to stop eating sugar, as it is not good for his health. Gandhi replied, I cannot tell him that right now, but you can bring him back after a month, and then I will talk to him. Hearing this, the mother was confused and upset that he didn't give any solution. She and her son went back home.
Read the vocab, please.
Unreached, arrived, upset, very sad.
The last part of the story.
After a month, they met him again. This time, Gandhi looked at the boy and said, Young boy, you should stop eating sugar, as it is not good for your health. Listen to your mother and follow her. The boy promised that he will not do that again. The boy's mother, with curiosity, asked Gandhi, Why didn't you tell him last time when I brought him here? He smiled and said, Mother, last time when you came, I had the habit of eating a lot of sugar myself. What is the moral of the story?
So, Isabella, before we continue, okay, first of all, in here, have you seen any new word for you that you would like me to explain here to you and everyone?
No.
Okay, so the big question here is what is the moral of the story? But we're gonna do the following. We read the text one time with Isabella. Now, I'll come back the slides of the story. I'll ask you all at home to read together. You can read it out loud, okay? You're at home, nobody's listening, don't worry about this. Read again the story, and then at the end, we're gonna talk about the moral of the story, okay? If you guys know the moral of the story, please write in the comment. Please, let's go right there. I'm coming back and we are gonna read it again. Please, let's go, everybody. Please read in. So, Isa, just for me to double check, before I put the slides again, did you guys listen to the instruction, which was to read again? Isa, did you read? Did you listen to the instructions?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, please, guys, if you can contribute, if you want to write there is the question, which is, what is the moral of the story? Isabella, do you have anything in mind? Don't worry, there's no right and wrong, but there's a moral of the story. What's the moral of the story? What do you think?
For me, it's like you cannot do something. No, for example, you cannot say for someone, "Oh, don't do this." If you do this thing, like don't talk like this with your friends, and you talk like this with your friends. So you cannot say for someone, "Don't do something that you do." So I think it's like that.
Yeah, we even, this is correct, Isa, and we even had a contribution here from Livia. She wrote, nice story. We can't give an advice when we don't do the same thing that we were talking about. Exactly the same.
This, but sometimes I give an advice for my friends, for example, for Edith, and I don't do the thing I'm saying for her, and it's weird. But sometimes we do this, but we know that it's wrong. But you know,
Yeah, we always try to do our best, right, Isabella? We always do. So, what is the moral of the story? We have in here the idea, of course, of being an example. We have to be, or we have to try to be motivational, being an example. Isabella, please read this part.
it's one thing to say that leaders need to be motivational. Another one is to know how to be motivational.
All right. What comes to your mind when you read this sentence? It's one thing to say that leaders need to be motivational. Another is to know how to be motivational.
I think you cannot say that you're a leader if you just say, "Oh, I'm a leader, I motivate others." If you don't, you really need to motivate, you really need to talk, to explain. So I think, I think this.
All right, Isabella. Thank you very much. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going then with lessons for student leaders. So the first lesson for student leaders, which is every one of you who is watching the live, which is you, Isabella, The first lesson is, like the story said, to motivate by, please read, Isabella.
Motivate
Motivate by?
being the example you want to see.
Yeah, so if you want to see people doing, if you want to motivate, you have to be the example yourself. As people sometimes say, we cannot be a good doctor who asks people to stop smoking if I smoke, for example. People are going to say, well, you're asking me to stop smoking, but you smoke.
Totally agree with this.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I just imagine this scene in my head.
Yeah, it's so, but there's this kind of situation. Of course, I'm not saying necessarily doctors, but if you're not the example you want people to see, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So next lesson, Isabella, please read this part.
Set clear goals and expectations. Listen and learn about people's challenge. Goal setting, smart, specific, measurable,
Specific.
achievable, realistic, timely.
So whenever you set a goal, there's an acronym called SMART, which is be specific, measurable, so you have to measure the goals, achievable, which means where do you want to go, realistic, so if it's not realistic, it's not for real, it's difficult, and timely, to when this goal has to be done, until when. So set clear goals and expectations. Listen and learn about people's challenges. Yeah. This is very powerful, Isabella, because this is what makes us human, the challenges. Yeah, don't you think? Because many times I think that I am the only person with challenges, and I forget that you also have challenges, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is very powerful. This is very important. All right, so Isabella, in here, any question? Is there anything in your mind you would like to share?
I think we really have to talk about our challenge with others, because maybe you can have the same challenge. So I think this is really nice to share with your friends or your parents, because you can have the experience of other people and understand better the situation.
Yes, really powerful this, Isabella. Thank you very much. You see, even though you're very young, you understand that these things are important, because many times it's very easy to forget that the other person also has challenges, right?
Yeah.
And if we do this, we can't motivate very well also. Okay, Isabella, let's keep on going a little bit more in here on lessons for student leaders. Let's go. Vision. Isabella, please read.
And have a vision. Explain why your vision is important in all contexts.
Yeah. Many times, Isabella and everyone, when you are a leader, you have a vision. You see clearly where you want to get. But if the people you lead don't understand very well where you want to get, the story behind this vision, maybe it will not be clear for them also. So the talking, the explaining, the telling the story of the vision is also very important, very powerful.
Yeah.
Communicate. Isabella, please read this part.
Communicate more. Give regular feedback, not twice a year. Oh, I agree
Yeah.
with this.
Why do you think so? What comes to your mind about
Um,
this,
I
Isabella,
think
please?
it's really important to give a feedback for everyone, like in all situations in life. For example, nowadays I'm in a band, and the leader of our band, he wants me to be the new leader because he's just with us to help because he's an adult and we're, teenagers. And he said for me, "Oh, do you have a feedback to give for me? Because I have a feedback for you." And after that, I saw that this is something really important to have a feedback and give a feedback.
Yes, and honest feedback, and this feedback, if possible, which is the next goal of ours, is to try to be positive. Okay, Isabella, please read
Uh,
this part.
be positive. Being positive is focusing on the positive aspects of the others.
So be positive. Today, I was talking with one of my students previously before this class, and we were talking about being positive. But there are people, of course, that are positive just because they want to be positive and like 100% always. Okay, this is
Oh,
good. This is good. You have to be positive, but you also have to be human. Yeah, there are
yeah.
times that you can't. There are times that it's difficult to be positive, right,
Yes,
Isabella?
and I know some people that are really positive all the time, and sometimes this make me feel a little bit angry because you cannot ignore the negative points of your life and the other lives. You need to see clear, of course. You need to be positive and see the good things that happen in your life, but it's not everything perfect, and that's fine.
And you said a very nice thing, Isabella, and that's fine because this is what makes us human, right? Of course, I want to be happy all the time. Of course, I want to have a positive life. Of course, I want to work in a positive environment, but sometimes it's not the day, and that's okay, as you said, right? And that's okay. Isabella, we're going to do the following right now. We're getting to the end of our class today, but before it arrives, I'll ask you to, now I'll come back in here a little bit and I'll ask you to please read again the lessons for student leaders, just for us to review, okay? Let's go. The first lesson is to,
Unmotivated by being the example you want to see.
okay.
Have a vision. Explain why your vision is important in all contexts.
And communicate.
Communicate more. You need to give a regular feedback, not twice a year.
And finally,
Being positive is focusing on positive aspects of the others, but not
yes,
ignoring the negatives.
not ignoring the fact that we are human, right?
Yeah.
That not ignoring this fact. Isabella, do you like to listen to spoilers?
Yes. I really
Okay, look. Me too. So before I give a spoiler on next class, I would like to ask you or anybody who's watching us at this moment if they have any question, if they have any comment to do to help us out with this thought, with this idea, with this class, which was to how to learn a little bit more to be a good leader, especially through motivation. Okay, Isabella, do you have any question, anything in your mind at this moment, please?
No,
All right.
you said
Uh,
I totally agree with everything you said. So I don't have any questions, and I think you're right, and you're a good teacher, and probably you're a good leader. So that's fine.
so I owe you a Big Mac at McDonald's. All right. Isa, thank you very much for your kind words. Um, Also, before the spoiler, yeah, please, Isa, what do you? I know you're home at this moment, but what do you take with you? What did you learn in a few words in this class? What do you take with you in your heart as a learning moment? Please, what can you tell us?
I think it's something that I bring in my heart. It's we need to be an example for others. I think this is very important. You need to be a good person, influence in positive ways. Because, sometimes you do something that it's not nice or not cool, and someone says, "Oh, but you did this one day." And if your friend do, you're going to say, "Oh, that's horrible." But if it's you, you need to think a little bit more. And I think we need to judge less others. Because I think sometimes we want to say, "Oh, but you do this." But I did this too. So I cannot say.
Yeah, very powerful words, Isa. Thank you very much. Good, good. See, guys, this is a young woman who really knows her path, knows her way, and is giving us very nice insights. We have in here some nice comments. Natalia is writing to us. Please read what Natalia is saying to us. Let's go, Isa.
Congratulations, Danilo and Isabel.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Thanks very much. Thank you a lot, Natalia. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you all for being with us. And now let's be spoilers now. Let's see what comes next. What is coming next week? Um, yeah, the spoiler is in here. Spoiler alert. Hope you can't wait for next class. Isabella, please read what we'll learn next class. Let's go.
How can I have more energy and have a better performance in my day? A class based on the neuroscience of performance.
Yeah. So next class, Isabella, and I hope you are participating on the live, commenting, asking. We're gonna talk about the neuroscience of having more energy. Yeah, because this is something that we all want. I believe I want this a lot. I wake up early to teach, and I want to have better performance every day, and I want
I
to have more energy.
watch
And
this.
you?
I need because like some days I'm really excited for life and all these things, and like this week I'm like, oh, school, oh. And I think I need to watch this. Like last week I had 3 days of school. I just went in one in the first day, and after that I said, oh my gosh, I remember that I hate school. I want to stay home, and I really don't go to school again. It was fun, but I was
So
sat in my room watching the classroom like, Oh, I'm so sad, Mom. It was.
Yeah, and this is very important. There are things, there may be tricks, there are things we can know to help us to have more performance. So this is what we're going to have next class, all right?
Okay.
Isabella, I would really like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for your kind, honest participation. Okay,
You're
thank you very much.
welcome.
God bless you always. And you guys, everybody who's watching this live, thank you very much. If you really believe that this live was okay, you liked it, you enjoyed it, and people could benefit from this live, please tell people, tell a friend. Yeah. The idea of the classes is always to help us improve our English and know a little bit more of a leadership topic. Okay, always in English, always with focus on the language also. Thank you very much, guys. Give it a like. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you very much. All right, guys, have a great night.
Bye.
Isa, thank you.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye, everyone. Good night.